What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
You never heard of them?
No?
No, Tottenham?
What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
You never heard of them?
No?
No, Tottenham?
What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
You never heard of them?
No?
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. I tell you what, if you're taking any pleasure out of Tottenham's downfall, you should be absolutely proud of yourselves, because I am at the front of that queue, man. Listen, you don't need to go cinemas, you don't need to watch Netflix. Just watch Tottenham play every game. I actually expected them to win last night. I thought Palace haven't looked great. It was like being at the movies. I needed popcorn for that. What is going on at Top Spurs? You ever heard of them? No? Hey, listen, you might hear of them next season, people. I think Tottenham will win the league next year. I really do. You might be surprised. I think they could win the league next year. I think, the Championship, them, Lincoln City, Barnsley, I think they've got a good chance of winning the league next year. But, oh, man, listen. We shouldn't laugh, but we should laugh at the same time, because this is our enemies, I suppose, so it's how it goes, people. But we're going to talk about that game in more detail, as that was the headline news of the night. The Spurs are too Spursy. Yeah, the chicken's given up now, you know what I'm saying? The chicken's just walked off the basketball and just said, listen, mate, I don't want to be here anymore. I do not want to be here anymore. It is crazy. But big up to everyone locked in on this Friday. It is a bit of a quiet news day, I can't lie. But we are going to preview the FA Cup game tomorrow, rotation, and just see sort of what we should be doing ahead of a big week. Mansfield in the FA Cup tomorrow, Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday, and then obviously we play against Everton next weekend. So a big week, man. If we can get 3 wins this week, and like I said, Manchester City have got a very, very hard week. As we spoke about yesterday, Manchester City have got Newcastle away, Real Madrid away, and West Ham away in the same week. I mean, that's travelling, that's very difficult battles throughout the week. I might actually do a double watch-along on Wednesday, because we're actually the early kickoff, 5:45. So I might then do the Real Madrid Man City game straight after. So yeah, keep it locked for that, people. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you hit the like button. Highway to hell, no highway to Hull next. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I just saw something, by the way, that they could lose £250 million if they get relegated, because the problem is, a lot of these clubs, they cover themselves by putting relegation clauses into the contract of the player. So what would happen if a player signs for 100 grand a week? They would put a clause in the contract to say, for example, if the club ever get relegated, you reduce your wage by 50%. Just to cover the club, so that if they end up in the Championship, your wage are going to reduce. Well, Tottenham wouldn't have done that, because this isn't a club that will have been in relegation trouble. So there's players there probably picking up. I mean, I saw Conor Gallagher, 200 grand a week they gave him. They are in big, big trouble. They will genuinely have to sell probably 80% of their squad at like half price just to get them off the wage bill, because they will be cooked. But anyway, let's focus on Arsenal. Zane said, I never forget a show. Click the likes and subscribe. You should sort out a day. We can come check you like a fan day. Would be sick to meet you, show some love in person. Much love. Yeah, maybe if we win the league or something, we'll do something where we get the community together, Big up DJ Ash. It's Vinay who was sent to Spurs to relegate them. I mean, I thought Vinay was terrible at Arsenal. But if he relegates Tottenham, we'll forgive him. Big up Gunner Down Under says, big up Curtly, Friday night business with the community them. It's so crazy to think in Australia, like you're in such a different time zone. it's Friday night there, you know. We're still early afternoon on the Friday, you know. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen that Edu has been banned from the training ground at Nottingham Forest, and Forest are basically in the process of sacking him. So Edu has gone to Forest and put them in a relegation battle, and now he's going to get sacked. And you've also now got Vinay taking Tottenham into the Championship. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy work, people. They're both trying to relegate clubs. Big up Patrice, who said, "Hey, Curtis was at the Emirates on Sunday, was hoping to see you. Met Robbie." You put Curtis, I'm assuming you meant Cecil. Ty, my son is your #1 fan. Big up your damn self, all the way from ATL. Big up, man. Do you know what? I only really go to the Emirates after, like, a big game. I know that was, I suppose it was a big game, but it wasn't a great game. I go if we've had, like, an epic win. I'm like, yo, I've just got to get down there now. But, yeah. Maybe next time. Big up my bro, Dor on tour. He's one of our own. Do you need any more favours, bro? Dor is a big Nottingham Forest channel. Make sure you go and follow him. Listen, on behalf of the whole Arsenal community, thank you. Thank you very much. Murillo, that clearance off the line. Wow, unbelievable. You can come to the parade. Arsenal fans, if we win the league, come to the parade. Come and celebrate with us, you know. We could do with you beating Tottenham and relegating them. That will complete it. That will complete it. And we'll take Elliot Anderson half price as well if you do get relegated. Yeah, 35 million, Elliot Anderson. Thank you very much. Big up Door, man. I hope you're well, bro. Give the title now to Arsenal so we can all start pre-season. It just doesn't work like that, does it, man? I wish it did. I wish it did, man, but there's still a long way to go. There really is. I know the midweek game sort of gave us that feeling that we're getting there, but we're not there yet, is what we have to understand. Yeah, Ethan missed a penalty in the shootout of the cup, man. He took the last penalty and put it over the bar. It's a shame because on the weekend he came on, got a last-minute assist for Aubameyang, and then midweek he puts a penalty over the bar. That loan hasn't gone great for him. Can we ban Arteta from the training ground, said Arsenal CS80. I mean, listen, man, I get your point, but let's see if he can, get us that title first. Troop says it's over, we're winning. I mean, emotion runs wild at times. We're all there, man. You know, when Anderson equalises and we win at Brighton, I'm sitting there thinking, get the passport, we're celebrating, but it's 4 points if they win that game in hand, but Charles Watts said we should retire the club if we win the quadruple and Spurs get relegated. And nah, do you know what? I don't often agree with Charles Watts, but yeah, you can shut down. You can shut down. You're never going to top that. But let's be real. Great teams have never won a quad. So we're not going to win the quad. Let's be real. I'll be unbelievably happy if we can win 2. If we could win the league or the Champions League, would be just unbelievable. Maybe win a Carabao Cup as well. Would be phenomenal. Quote in the Black Mamba, is the job done? The job's not done yet. The job ain't done until you're lifting the trophy, right? And we ain't lifted no trophy yet. So, yeah, let's have a look. We'll have a look. By the way, just quickly, we know that Arsenal want a midfielder this summer, right? Yesterday, we spoke about the links to Elliot Anderson. If Door's still listening, yeah, we are being linked with Elliot Anderson. I think a lot of that is because for England, Anderson is playing centre mid next to Declan Rice. They look like they've got a good partnership. Could he come to Arsenal and put pressure on Zubimendi? I personally think Rice is a better 6 than an 8, so somebody like Anderson would be perfect. We know we're being linked with Tonali as well. Looks like he's going to leave Newcastle, but the rumours are he wants to go back to Italy. How good was Adam Wharton last night for Crystal Palace? That pass for the third goal. The second goal, the pass was good, but it wasn't that difficult. But that one for the third goal, I was like, bro. I don't know about anybody else. He reminds me a little bit of Jack Wilshere. I don't know, just the way he runs, the left foot, the low socks. He reminds me a bit of a mini Jack Wilshere. He's a baller. He is a baller, man. I don't think Palace will have him next season either. So I think the centre mid market is going to be very active. Rumours coming out of Spain today that Camavinga might be sold by Real Madrid. Real Madrid are looking to balance the books. Apparently, Camavinga is frustrated with his lack of game time. They seem to go with Tchouaméni, Valverde and Bellingham, and he gets benched. He then gets played at left back. Imagine a summer where you could have Wharton, Anderson, Camavinga, Tonali all available. I think that's a poll. I did a poll yesterday and forgot to read out the results. Typical Curtis Shaw TV. So we'll do another poll today and we'll do all four of them. Now, a lot of the reports are saying Adam Wharton could be going to Manchester United as a Casemiro replacement. So whether that deal happens or not, I don't know. Which midfielder would you sign this summer? Let's get all four of them. I think really what you've got to look at is what profile of midfielder do we need more? You know, are you going to put Rice in the 6? If you want Rice in the 6, you might need somebody that's a bit more attacking. If you're going to leave him in the 6, if you're going to put him in the 8, and leave him there, you might need more of a 6 to go and challenge Zubimendi. So it all depends where you think Rice should be playing as to what midfielder you go for. But they're all fantastic options. Like I've said over the years, I love Camavinga as a player. But he's very injury prone. And I just don't know whether that transfers from La Liga to the Premier League. I don't know. Over the years, I would have definitely said Camavinga, but now I'm not so sure. Adam Wharton looks like a player that can run a game. He looks like, give me the ball, I'll boss the game. Tonali feels more advanced than the rest of them. Not Camavinga so much, because Camavinga's won Champions Leagues, but Tonali just feels like he's ready to go straight into the team. Anderson and Wharton might take a bit of time. The poll, big up to you, James, said yesterday it was 63% Tonali, 37% Anderson. Tonali is a destroyer, is our Rice substitute. The thing is, though, I think the problem that you're going to have, Stogie, is I don't think Tonali is coming to Arsenal to sit on the bench. So that's another thing. I'm not sure you can convince somebody like him to come to Arsenal and go, oh, we're going to play Zubimendi and Rice and you're going to be the backup. He can go to probably any team in Italy and start centre mid and play for Italy. I don't think he comes to Arsenal without sort of guarantees. I don't know. Who are you going for? That Anderson goal has changed my mind from Tonali, bring Anderson to the carpet. I think what we lack a little bit in midfield is a player that can score that goal that Anderson scored the other day. I don't think Zubimendi or Rice score a goal like that in our midfield. I do think we lack goals from the middle of midfield. And it would help, especially when we're not the most prolific in attack. I'm actually not sure out of them four who I would take. I think if you took away the injuries, I would love Camavinga, but I think Camavinga probably would be too risky. Huge wages and very injury prone. We've got enough injury prone players. I do really like Tonali. I just think he's a bit of a boss in midfield, man. He can play, he can shoot. He's physical. I'm a big fan of Tonali. I'd be very happy with that deal. And I like Wharton and Anderson. Anderson's got a bit more flair about him. Wharton can kind of boss a game. Do you know, I'd be happy with any of them, to be honest. The more I think about it, I'd take any of the four. And the thing is, the problem with Anderson, I'll be totally honest with you, is I don't watch Forest enough to know how good he truly is. You know, I saw that goal against Man City the other day. I'm like, yo, man's playing in blue vapours. He's whipping it in the bottom corner. Sign him. I genuinely don't know how good he is overall. I looked at his stats, 2 goals. That was only his second league goal. So I don't know how good he actually is. I'm with you, Ines. I mean, the type of summer Arsenal should be having is like Tonali, Rodgers, Alvarez. Or, you know, something along those lines with a proper left winger maybe in there as well. I know Rodgers can play off the left, but, you know, Villa look like they're falling off a cliff. They might not even get Champions League. I think you can then go and get Rodgers out of Villa. Big up the American football fanatic who said, what's your thoughts on mainstream media? Not talking about City slip up, but Arsenal criticism is front page. Do you know what I always say, bro, is that let's be real, and we are going to be real. Manchester City is not headline news. Man City won the treble the day after the Champions League. I feel like the football world just said, oh yeah, City have won the Champions League. If we won the Champions League, I'd still be talking about it now. I'll be talking about it in 5 years' time. When Man City win the league, people don't really care unless you're a Manchester City fan or the team that they have picked to the title. Then it does hurt you, I'll be honest with you. But Man City do not have that same pull. Yeah, you've got Pep and great players, but worldwide, Man City are not as big a talking point as Man United, as Liverpool, as Arsenal. And that's just the reality of it. So their slip-up goes under the radar. They'd rather talk about Arsenal. That's just how it is. Yardman said, Big C, I'm always inspired by how hard you work. Any suggestions for someone who wants to get into content creation, albeit not football related? What keeps you going? Do you know the first thing, bro? I appreciate your kind words, man. And listen, it's one thing I've always said in life, right? And what makes it easy for me is when you're doing something you're passionate about and you love, you don't view it as a job. It doesn't. This isn't hard work. I'm sitting here talking about football for the next, hour and 15. You can't call that work. You know what I mean? I used to, my friends used to ring me after games, still do. We'd be on the phone for 2 hours talking about football. It ain't work. It's light work. So for me, the thing that I chased growing up was I want to play football because I loved playing football. I was lucky enough to turn that into a job. A paid job, or however you want to say. So doing this is the next best thing. Playing football is the dream. Talking about football is the next best thing. So I always say, chase your passion. If you can turn that into your job, you're winning in life. You know, I think the worst thing is to be passionate about something, talented at it, and not going for it. There's so many people that don't chase their dreams, and they end up getting stuck in a job they don't like, and you stay in it because you've got bills to pay, which I understand. You got to chase them dreams, people. You know what I mean? These companies, most of them, they don't even care about us. Let's be real. They don't care. You put years of work in for these companies, something goes wrong, they'll just, yeah, you're just a number. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. I think whatever job you're in, if you don't love that job, you've got to be doing something on the side to try and get that side hustle going. You know, I didn't leave my job for quite a while into this channel because I was like, boy, I don't know, is the channel gonna... In the end, I just said, yo, bun that job. The job started messing around. Oh, we need to cut your hours. I said, you know what? Don't cut my hours. Lock off the job. Yeah, I ain't coming back. And we just said, yo, we're gonna make this work. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Big up Gunnar. Make sure you go and follow Gunnar TV, man. Always appreciate Big C's kind words. From 5 subs to 390. Well, Gunnar on 390 subs. He's an Arsenal content creator. He's in the community daily. He should be at least on 400 subs by the time this stream ends. Let's get him to 400 and then 500, you know? There's 1,600 of you in the chat right now. I'll remember the poll. Remind me at the end of the show. Would you go into coaching? Nah, I wouldn't. I did it for a short time. It's too clicky coaching. It's who you know. And no, coaching's difficult, man. You know what I mean? It doesn't pay very well unless you can get in a real high position. You've got to put so much time and effort into it. Nah, I wouldn't want to coach. I was going to go down being an agent kind of route. But again, it's very snaky work. It's difficult. Did you play for Mansfield? Are you a legend there? I mean, I would say I don't think I achieved enough there to be considered a legend there. But I'll tell you that I was considered a big character there. Like I was a character. You know, the fans like me. I was a character there, you know, but it is what it is. Look, even Leyu is a very sensible individual. Even he's joining in. Calling me Curtis with a K. They'll call him Coach Curtis. Curtis can't stand being called a Lego head. Hey, Arteta's the Lego head, bro. Arteta's the Lego head. From live stream to mansion and G-Wagon. If only, people. If only. Do you look at Robbie as an older brother or a boss? You know what? I just look at Robbie's just yeah, more of a good friend, man. You know what I mean? Robbie's kept it 100 with me. I got to be honest. Robbie's kept it 100 with me. I know that certain things have happened with other people, and you know it can change people's opinion of someone's character, and I do understand that. And I listen. I've had conversations with Robbie about things that have happened with other people, and I've disagreed with the way things have happened. But he's kept it 100 with me, and when people show you that loyalty, I think, you know, you should be loyal back to them in that same way, you know. And listen, he was a trendsetter. No matter what people think, he smashed down a lot of doors so that channels like this and multiple other people are doing the same thing. So yeah, man, big him up always, man. Did you have a song at Mansfield? No, I don't think I did, man, to be honest. The Mansfield Aubameyang. I was late occasionally, to be honest. I was definitely late the odd time, but nah. Anyway, let's move on. Why am I waffling? I just waffle now every, like, the first 20 minutes. I just waffle when I start these shows. Can't judge my relationship with someone based on others' opinion all the time, only based on how they treat me, as long as they aren't Scottish. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Mature response, trendsetter for real. Yeah. Let's get into awards were being handed out last night. You know, I don't hype up these awards but it's always good for players to win them and be acknowledged. I think it was the London Football Awards. Declan Rice was named London Footballer of the Year. And Eze was named Footballer in the Community. I'm not too sure what that means, but and then Mikel Arteta was named London Manager of the Year. I mean, listen, win PFA Player of the Year, win PFA Manager of the Year. You know, they're the awards up, because if Arteta wins Manager of the Year, he's probably won the title. Declan Rice, go and win PFA Player of the Year. It means you've won the Premier League. You know, I'm not disrespecting the players here, by the way, because you should always acknowledge when you win awards, but I want you to win the big awards, because we know then it means that something significant has been achieved. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but big up, you know, big up. There's not a lot of competition in London, let's be real. Like, you got Tottenham, Palace, Chelsea are the only other competition, really. So, why always me said Bruno Guimaraes would be the best option for us as an 8. For me, it's between Bruno and Tonali. Newcastle might sell one if they miss the Champions League. I think there's a general feeling amongst football that Tonali's going to probably leave, where Bruno, long contract, I think they view him probably higher than Tonali. I think he'd cost a lot more. You got to remember, there's a lot of clubs looking at Gordon. Clubs are probably looking at Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali as well. I don't think they're going to allow many of them to leave, so that's the problem. Show us your Mansfield jersey. I'll get it towards the end of the show. I did show it yesterday on Forever, if you saw that, but I'll show you guys. Kone from Roma, or Namicha from Dortmund, if not Tonali. That Namicha's been... I probably butchered his name. I've watched him a few times because somebody mentioned him once. He does look decent, but I'll be honest, I don't know enough about him. ET said, big up. ETAFC said, big up from Los Angeles. Been waking up at unforsaken hours for this team for decades. Now for you and AFTV and other videos and live streams up the cut. Yo, big up, bro. It's I do similar things. Sometimes I'm up late watching NBA, man. I don't know if anybody saw Anthony Edwards dunking on that guy's head top, RJ Barrett. I was going crazy, man. You know, because it's late night as well sometimes. Everyone's asleep in the house. I'm downstairs watching NBA. Man just dunks on top. Stay quiet. Stay quiet. Don't wake up the house. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But listen, I respect it, man. I respect it. Is Douglas Luiz finished? I don't think he's at the level he was. This hamstring injury seems to have caused him a lot of problems. It really does. So, yeah, man. Just briefly, I know we did speak about it. Would you do crossbar challenge against Robbie? Yeah, he thinks he's great at crossbar challenge because he did it on Soccer AM years ago. It was a fluke, man. It was a fluke. Just quickly, I know we spoke about it briefly, but What was that genuinely, right? They could get relegated now. I've said the whole time they're not going down. They've got too much quality. The reason they might go down for me is their team has no fight. When you've got no fight, you lose. You can have all the quality in the world. When your team don't run through a brick wall, you're finished. I see a bunch of players there that are looking at who they're going to be playing for next season. That's all I see. I see a bunch of selfish players that don't want to be there. Van der Ven sent off, just petulance. They hype him up so much as well. He's being linked with Liverpool. Romero, I've probably never seen a more ideally suited player to Atletico Madrid. He'll be at Atletico. He just looks perfect for a Simeone defence. They have got no fight. They could be gone. They could genuinely be gone. Their next 3 games are Atletico Madrid away, Liverpool away, and then obviously Atletico Madrid at home. Then they play Forest before the international break. I'm almost certain Atletico Madrid will knock them out. I think they'll lose to Liverpool at Anfield. That Nottingham Forest game, I think, will make or break their season. If they lose to Forest and they go into that international break in the bottom 3, I think they're going down. I think they'll be done. They've made an absolute mess of it. Why they appointed Igor Tudor is unbelievable. They genuinely, if you've got a fire, you call a firefighter. You don't order a pizza. Yeah, my house on fire, let's get a stuffed crust. That's basically what they've done. You're in a fire, you call a firefighter. When you're in a fire in the Premier League, you start calling Sam Allardyce, Sean Dyche, David Moyes. Keep you in the division. Not glamorous, but it's what's required at the time. These brothers, they don't even know what to do. They genuinely would be better off with Sean Dyche as manager than Igor Tudor. The house is on fire. They've ordered a stuffed crust. We're eating good, man. Look at the stadium. Beyonce concert, Kendrick concert, Anthony Joshua boxing match. All right, mate, but you're going to be playing championship football. I would sack Igor Tudor today, get Harry Redknapp, get Sean Dyche, get Sam Allardyce. They'll stay up because they'll get a bit of momentum, a bit of fight. The fans will respond to it. They've still got enough quality to stay up. They keep Igor Tudor, there's a very good chance they'll be in the championship. Somebody just said, that's a good point, and I'm being genuinely serious when I ask this question. If they get relegated, it's a fire sale. Yeah, everything's half price, buy one, get one free. Would you take any Tottenham player if he was like half price? Is there a player at Tottenham that you think, you know what? I know it's Tottenham, but we took Sol Campbell. You can't think with emotion. Would you nick someone off them on the cheap? I'm thinking like, would you take a Jed Spence or an Udogie as cover? Would you take a Romero or a Van der Ven? Would you take Mohamed Kudus? Would you take Xavi Simons? Kulusevski's been injured a lot. I don't know. Would you take any Tottenham player if the price was... A lot of you saying Kudus, definitely not Richarlison. Kulusevski or Udogie, Spence or Kudus. I would take one or two of them, you know. If the price was right, I would. I think a Kudus or a Spence or an Udogie, but I couldn't see it happening. They probably wouldn't allow them to come to us. Now, Maddison's just coming back from an ACL. Yeah, actually, you know what? I've said to Expressions a few times, you know, I said, bro, you shouldn't be a Tottenham fan. Like, you're a funny guy. You should be an Arsenal fan. Just give up on Tottenham. I will ignore the past. You can be an Arsenal fan. We'll let you off. Sar's not bad. Sar's not bad. But listen, I think they're in trouble. They're in big, big trouble. Anyway, let's focus on the mighty Arsenal, people. The mighty Arsenal. FA Cup replay? What am I talking about? There's no replays in the FA Cup. FA Cup weekend. It's a Curtis Shaw derby, people. Let me get the shirt, actually. I did show people yesterday, but I'm going to show you guys. Let me get the shirt. It's the Curtis Shaw derby, people. We shouldn't have too much trouble, by the way. We should win that. So this was the shirt. I did show people on Forever yesterday, but number 18. Why the number 18? That's the badge and stuff. I've got the away shirt. The away shirt's getting framed at the moment, but basically I signed in January. I love number 9. R9's my favourite player ever, and 9 was already taken, so I took 18. 9 times 2, 1 plus 8, whatever. But there wasn't many good numbers available. Nacho Monreal. I had a bit more flair than Nacho, I can't lie. And shouldn't have been sacked. Yeah, I agree with that. And should have been kept. Yeah, 9 times. You know what I mean? Remember, was it Zamorano? He wore like 1 plus 8, didn't he? Or something when R9 joined Inter Milan. I'm sure he did back in the day. Big up Gunnar Motley as well, man. Big up your damn self. We play Mansfield tomorrow. FA Cup 5th round. It is it's a 12:15 kickoff. So I'll be live at 11:15 in the morning UK time. So make sure you're locked in. I actually don't mind us playing that early because, you know, I kind of can get the stream and then do the still have a bit of a Saturday, you know, where sometimes. Do you know what? I'm trying to find this out, right? You guys might know this. People are saying that Lewis Skelly is suspended. What for what reason? I just seen somebody online saying he's not suspended, but then I've seen, yeah, he is. He is. I'm just Googled it. Lewis Skelly is suspended for the trip to Mansfield due to an accumulation of cards. The 19-year-old defender picked up bookings in the away win at Portsmouth and then the previous round against Wigan. So he is suspended. That's a big loss, and I'll tell you why. I was trying to pick a team yesterday so that we could rotate. And we're short of defenders, man. We're probably going to have to play maybe maybe 1 or 2 of our first team back four. The team I was sort of thinking, it's quite hard to pick the team. Kepa in goal. I'm very keen on Timber, Rice, Saka, all of Gabriel. Leave those players out if you can. I mean, I would have played Josh Nichols at right back, but yeah, I haven't even seen him on the bench. I haven't seen him on the bench. Salmon, can he play this game? I know it sounds crazy because people will be saying it's only Mansfield, they're League One, right? But they are direct and physical. Can this Salmon deal with it? He's 16 years of age. Is he good enough to play centre-back for Arsenal in an FA Cup game? He could get bullied. You know, it's not about quality, it's about physicality. I think we're going to have to play Mosquera at right-back. I can't see any. Obviously, if Ben White's fit, that would solve an issue because he can then play right-back. Then we can play Mosquera at centre-back. So I'm looking at worst-case scenario. I genuinely don't know what we could do at centre-back. I'm thinking you could play Calafiori and Incapie, but then we don't have a left-back. The Salmon will get grilled. I don't know if I would play Salmon. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I would. If Ben White's not available, we are genuinely short of options in defence. You could play Norgard, but then Norgard's probably got to play in midfield. I don't know. I don't even know how to sort this back four out. Put Norgard at centre-back, but then that means then you've probably got to play Zubamendi or Deckers in midfield. Let's see what you guys said. Master Adidas said Kepa, Benny, Salmon, Mosquera. But again, you're assuming that Ben. I'm looking at worst case scenario if Ben White hasn't recovered. He's missed the last couple of games. I wouldn't want to play Salmon in this, but let's go Saka at left back. No, I don't want Saka playing. I do not want Saka playing. Havertz has played left back for Germany. Let's go. I reckon Gabriel will play. I'm going to be honest. I know we don't want that, but I could see him playing Gabriel. Then I think you play Calafiori. you probably have to play in Capia at left back. It's quite a strong back four. It's not ideal, that. I really hope Ben White is fit. So, yeah, we just found out Lewis Skelly is suspended. Josh Nichols, I haven't even seen him on the bench this season. So, I don't see how he all of a sudden... Even in the training videos, I don't see him. So, I would play Josh Nichols at right back. Let's assume if Ben White's available, you could move Mosquera to centre-back. You could drop Gabriel out and play Mosquera, Calafiori centre-back. So let's just hope Ben White is fit. That would save us some trouble. Lewis Skelly suspended. He's had a yellow card in the previous 2 rounds. If you get booked in 2 rounds in a row, you're suspended for the 3rd game. So he misses this game. Probably better for him to miss this game rather than a more important game down the line. So midfield then, yeah, you've obviously got to play Norgard. Christian Norgard. Again, midfield. How do we get this midfield? Because I do not want Declan Rice playing. And to be honest, I would like to leave Zubimendi out as well. I would love to leave them both out, but we're so short on midfielders. Who would you play in midfield? I suppose you could play Eze. He hasn't played loads of football this season, so I suppose you could play Eze. Maybe we play 2-8. Let's play Havertz. Let's play with 2 8s. At least we're experienced in midfield. Let's go with that. A lot of solidarity there. You could play Max Dowman, but he's never played Max in the 10. He's only played him on the right, and Noni does need game time. On the right, you play Noni. On the left, I would go Gabby Martinelli, just simply because he's got a good record at the moment in the cup competitions. And Trossard was just woeful when he came on. Up front, I go Gabriel Jesus. I go with that team. Very experienced, very solid. Get the job done. And then bring on Max Dowman. Bring on Salmon and get Gabriel off. Now, obviously, this team can change. Odegaard might be fit. Ben White might be fit. If Ben White's fit, take Gabriel out as centre-back. Put Mosquera centre-back with Calafiori and put Ben White at right-back. You know, if Odegaard's fit, I mean, he's just come back from a knee injury. I'm not sure I would start Odegaard even if he was fit. I'm not sure Mansfield away on a bobbly pitch is the game to bring him back. If it was me, I would like to see Max Dowman starting because I just think he's a fantastic player. I wouldn't mind playing him in the 10 role, playing him centrally for that dribbling ability. But I think he will play Noni on the right. Yeah, Skelly's suspended, Charlie. He's suspended. I wasn't sure about it, but I did just Google it. 2 yellow cards in the previous 2 rounds. You miss a game, so that's a shame because he could have played centre mid in this game. And the problem is, if we end up getting let's say we get a good Premier League team in the next round, we might not see it. He tried to use the Wigan game to give Lewis Skelly a midfield run out, but Calafiori got injured in the warm-up. That forced him to put Lewis Skelly back to left back. Then he would have probably played centre mid in this game, but now he's suspended. And then if we end up getting a good Premier League team, is he going to trust him? I don't know. So that's a shame for Lewis Skelly. Odegaard is fine. He's been drinking milk. Yeah, I'm sure you're all enjoying the documentary, The Leader, Martin Odegaard, where they've got a picture of him drinking milk. Well, popping his head between a carton of milk. Play Waneri. Oh, wait. Yeah. Shaquille said, back your team. The short, listen, right? So shorts can make you look bad, can't they? Because they don't give you full context. Cecil said to me, do you have total belief now that Arsenal are going to win the league? I said, I'm nearly there. He said, well, what's stopping you from saying 100% that you think Arsenal are going to win the league? I said, there's 2 things that are still stopping me from saying we're going to win the league. I said, number 1 is Mikel Arteta, because Mikel Arteta has been in this situation 3 times before and it hasn't worked. So until I see it work, I'm not going to fully believe in it. The second thing, I don't think any attacking player is in form at the moment. We've got big games And you're going to have games where you need somebody to turn up individually. A Saka, an Odegaard, an Eze, a Gyökeres. I think that's a fair point. I don't think those 2 points that I made are unfair. As we came out of Wednesday more excited because Man City had dropped points than the way we played against Brighton. It's Man City stumbling that's giving us the excitement. We're not looking at Arsenal and going, yo, you're ripping Man City to bits here. We're just going, yo, Man City just don't look very good at times. So I think you've got a right to be excited and enjoy what might end up happening, but I'm still a little bit cautious. You know, I want to see us 9 points clear. Then I might start saying, yeah, book the parade. If they win their game in hand, it's 4 points. Their game in hand's Crystal Palace at home. Let's be real, you would expect Man City to win that. And then we've got to play them at the Etihad. If we don't beat them, if we lose, it's a point. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I think we can win the league. But I'm certainly not, I'm not celebrating yet. SK Wilkins, did you go CTC, bro? I was in the year below you. Yep, I did, man. Very good. I enjoyed school. School was decent, man. Because we use computers loads. So, yeah, man. Big up yourself, man. Arsenal need a top number 6 and a left winger. You've actually put left winger, but yeah, I know. Listen, I get your point. We definitely need a left winger in the summer. Very good one. Been here before and we're 8 points clear. Exactly. We were 8 clear and didn't win it. So 7 with a game in hand. I'm not there yet. I'm excited, but I need a bit more. Need a bit more. Now, listen. Story came out yesterday. Interesting because I said this story about 3 days ago and I said, I'm not doing up ITK, but Arsenal are going to have to get rid of 1 or 2 or more what you would consider first team squad players this summer, right? Players that were probably signed as first team players but have ended up becoming squad players, but they're on too much money to sit on the bench. Now, Sam Dean, who writes for the Daily Telegraph, put the story out yesterday. Arsenal will have to sell at least 1 first-team player this summer. It is understood there are discussions around who would yield the most lucrative sale, whether more than 1 player might have to go. He's mentioned Gabriel Martinelli and Ben White as strong candidates. Now, I told you guys the other day I'd spoken to someone who works at the club, and they were mentioning to me Trossard, Ben White, Gabriel Jesus. They were the 3 that they felt like the club will listen to offers. Now, I think the reason Martinelli, because I do think they like Martinelli. You can tell when you see them on tour. But he's a Brazilian international. Let's just say he has a half-decent World Cup coming off the bench. Sometimes you've got to sell players when they've got a little bit of hype around them. I always think a World Cup is a great time to sell players, especially if a player does half decent. Trossard will be there with Belgium. Martinelli will be there with Brazil. If they do half decent, you get rid of them. Odegaard's there as well. I think Ben White will leave Arsenal this summer, personally. From what I've heard, the injury record's not good. Hearing that he's not happy being a squad player. He's on 150 grand a week, and I think a lot of clubs would take him. I was saying the other day, Trippier's still playing right back for Newcastle. He's about 35, 36. Ben White would walk into the Newcastle team. He'd get in a lot of decent teams. So I could see Ben White going. Trossard, for me, I would get rid of. I know at the start of the season we were hyping him. He's a good squad player. He's clutch. He's so inconsistent. It's unbelievable. He's also 31. I would get rid of Trossard. Listen, I said it yesterday, people. In an ideal world, I would actually sell Martinelli and Trossard. I don't think either one of those 2 players are doing enough to stay at this football club long term. I think you've got to get ruthless and get rid of both of them. But it can be difficult, to sell 2 left wingers in the same window. Then you've got to sign 2 left wingers. You have a Trossard agenda. Have you not watched Trossard in the last couple of months? Ain't no agenda, bro. He's not very good. He turns up, has little clutch moments, has a couple of good games, then falls off a cliff. Let's be real. He's not good enough. That it's not no agenda. We're being honest. We've watched Martinelli for years. He's so inconsistent. He has big moments. He's great against tired legs off the bench. They're not good enough. It's as simple as that. We got to keep the standards high, bro. Trossard's not good enough to be at Arsenal long term. Neither is Martinelli. The only way one of them stays at the club is if you're prepared to sit on the bench. Not good enough, bro. Seriously, man. It ain't no agenda. Dominic Sean Paulside. Oh, what a name. Well, as soon as Sabozlai turned up with Kane Rose, I said, yo, they're dropping points tonight, man. I don't know what's going on here. He said, I'm not cutting my hair until Spurs win one game in a row. Yeah, you'll end up with dreadlocks, bro. I'm telling you, Tottenham, they'll win games next season when they get relegated, though, anyway, in the Championship. So, Big Up Ray said, Big C, Wagwan, bro. Why is it so hard for overseas fans to get tickets here in the US? I mean, I'm not sure, man. I couldn't tell you. Tickets are getting more and more difficult to get now because we're doing better as well. When we're not doing very well, everyone wants to sell their ticket. When your team's successful, tickets are harder to get and you got to pay crazy money as well. Tracer the Golden said, bring Liao and Yildiz. Yeah, I'd be happy with either one of them. It's hard for UK fans. Yeah, well, the problem is now, if you can get a ticket for an Arsenal game, what people do is sell them for a lot more money. So you can go on websites and get tickets for. You could buy a ticket for the cup final easily, but it probably cost you £500, and they got it for probably £90. Larry said, just because fans don't rate players doesn't mean other teams don't rate them. Liverpool fans... Nah, you know where I disagree slightly there, though? I think Liverpool fans did rate Luis Diaz, to be honest. I just don't think he fully fulfilled his potential. Listen, his dad got kidnapped. That probably messed him up for that season. Then he got a major injury in that game at Arsenal, actually. I think it was his knee. I actually think Luis Diaz was a very good player. And you've got to remember, Luis Diaz chose to leave Liverpool. They apparently wanted to keep him. I know what you're saying. Diaz was at Liverpool, not really pulling up trees, but was decent. He's gone to Bayern Munich and gone to a next level. I don't look at Trossard and think, yeah, if we sell Trossard, he's going to start ripping up the place. I don't think he will. Martinelli would be good in like the German league where they play on the halfway line, and his pace would be good. I mean, I'm looking at Diaz. He got 13 goals in his last season at Liverpool. That was only in the league as well. He got 3 in the Champions League, 1 in the Cup. Yeah, he got 17 goals and 6 assists. So he was still doing decent numbers. He was on tiny wages. That is BS. My mate is a Liverpool fan. He misses Luis Diaz. I mean, you look at Luis Diaz now compared to Cody Gakpo. I think they backed the wrong horse, let's be honest. Cody Gakpo is bang average, where Diaz, a baller. Michael said, got to give the club credit, Big C, for giving Vinay the boot when they did. We now have Berta. What a difference. I always said, right, a big part of the problem at Arsenal was inexperienced owner, if you're looking at Josh. And then you had Vinay, who wasn't very good. Then you've got Arteta, who lacked experience. And then you had Edu, who lacked experience. It was like, who can they lean on if something's going wrong? You're all looking at each other, well, I've never been in this situation before, so I don't know what to do. The biggest props I can give, and this is, I honestly think Josh has made a massive difference at Arsenal. If we were still being run by Stanley, I think we'd be struggling. I think Josh has come in with a point to prove. I'm going to get that club and I'm going to make that club work. And he started looking at things and going, right, how do we fix this situation? We've got to sign higher caliber of player. We're spending money, 200 million plus in January, in summer transfer windows. Right, to be successful, you need one of the best sporting directors in the world. He's gone and got the one that's been at Atletico for over a decade. Things have improved since Edu's gone. Look what Edu's done at Forest. Forest are in Europe. Edu's turned up. They're in a relegation battle. And now they've banned him from the training ground and said, listen, mate, you ain't coming in here. We're not lifting up the fence for you to come in. You're gone. They're going to sack him in the next few days. Vinay was an absolute shambles at this football club. He knew nothing about football. He's an IT guy that used to get the club sponsorship deals, and they moved him into a footballing role. He's not a football man. Keep him away from the football pitch. He's gone to Tottenham, and look at the state of them. They could end up in the Championship. So we'll forgive you if you relegate Tottenham. Now we've got football people in the right position. Berta, when we got Berta, I said this is the biggest appointment for 10 years. 10 years, this guy. And I genuinely think with him at the helm, we'll be successful. We'll either win with Arteta, with him leaning on Berta for advice, or he'll get rid of Arteta at the end of the season and say, listen, you brought me here to do a job, Josh. You need to get a manager in if he doesn't get us over the line, which hopefully he does. Edu tried to sign Igor Jesus. You know, when Edu got the job, I went, yo, we're going to get Brazilian talent. We'll get the new Neymar, the new, Gilberto Silva. This guy brought Marquinhos. I'll give him one bit of credit. He did bring Gabriel, but he also brought Willian. So, yeah, them Brazilian links didn't quite work. I was hoping he'd get Hendrick or someone. Fabio Vieira is still on loan. That guy every year just pops up on pre-season tour. I don't know how he survives. How's he getting on at Hamburg? 19 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. Please just sign him. Somebody just buy him. Somebody just buy him. Big up Doctor, who said, biggest appointment since David Dean. Bert has been a revelation. Put everyone on notice, especially Mikel, of what time it is. Yeah. Our mentality changed in the transfer market this summer. Big up Chief, who's a new member. Big up your damn self, man. Appreciate that. Crowler said Hamburg are looking to buy Fabio Vieira on a permanent. Oh, mate, I hope so. No disrespect. I don't want to see him in pre-season tour. Opponent manager crying before, during and after games. Scholes saying don't give the title to anyone. People are panicking. Keep going one game at a time. I said it yesterday. I love the fact that they're getting rattled by us. I love it. I saw Arsenal fans going mad online. Oh, I can't believe how disrespectful Hertzler is. Alan Pardew says that there should be a star next to our name if we win the league because it's not a genuine title win. Paul Scholes saying don't give the trophy to anybody. Nobody deserves it. Bro, I don't care what any of these pundits say. None of them. They used to laugh at us when we were 8th. If we win the league, we'll be Scholesy, mate. Scholes, the Man United fans are turning on Scholes. He's dissing his club every minute. Carrick's put them in Champions League running, and Scholes is still dissing Michael Carrick. Maybe he's fuming because when he got the job at Oldham as manager, he flopped. And he had to go back to being a pundit. Gary Neville went in as manager, and he flopped. He had to go back to being a pundit. So I don't care. I don't give a damn. If Thierry starts saying it, I might listen. But Paul Scholes, Alan Pardew, I don't give a damn about them. I don't give a damn. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Foot in his mouth, you know what I mean? Which Spurs player would you take at a discount? I like Kudus. I like Spence. They're not bad. Squad players. Spence would be a good replacement if Ben White left as a versatile fullback. But I don't think we'll sign anyone from Tottenham if they get relegated. I don't think they would sell anyone to us. Embrace their hate. They loved when we was mid. Exactly. I can't believe this. This is probably the first time ever. Leahy said, I totally agree with you, see. First time we've agreed. He said, I wish we can win the last 8 games playing ugly, scoring only corner kicks. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, mate. I don't give a damn how we win it now. It can be as ugly as anything you've ever seen as long as we get over the finish line. It might even rattle them even more. Do you know the one thing I would love to see happen, right? I would love us to beat Man City at the Etihad, and just because then it becomes that moment of like, Wiltord! You'll always look back on that like Wiltord scoring at Old Trafford. I would love Arsenal to beat Man City at the Etihad so Pep realises there and then the title race is over. You know, the thing is we don't play them till the end of April in the league. So who knows? There could be distance between us by then. You would hope so, but it could obviously still be close. If Rodgers can't get done, is Harry Wilson an option? I think he's been good every time he's played. A Big Six team. PS, I was number 18 as a striker. Big up, man. Well, Harry Wilson obviously is he's out of contract in the summer. And he just scores bangers every week. But is he Arsenal level? I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, I could see him moving up a little bit up the ladder. But I'm not sure I'd want Harry Wilson. I might be being snobby here, by the way, because he is a good player. But to me, Newcastle, maybe. Villa as a... I don't know. I'm not looking at him and thinking, bring him to Arsenal. Without sounding a bit snobby, I think we're a bit above that level. I mean, look at it. Would Man City sign Harry Wilson? No, they wouldn't. So we're in the same sort of bracket. So that's how I'm thinking. I wouldn't go for him. They got Foden on the bench at the moment. He's been awful this season. Phil Foden has been absolutely dreadful this season. Purple patch. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool, he come through their team, so maybe they go for him. Why are you not adding the Forest player that scored the back heel? Gibbs White. I just don't think we need Gibbs White because of where he plays. Plays in the Eze, Odegaard, Havertz role. We don't need that, I don't think. Unless you get rid of Odegaard or Havertz, but I'd take Rodgers over Gibbs White. Right, let's finish with the poll, people. Which midfielder would you sign this summer? Camavinga, stories today that he might leave Real Madrid this summer. Tonali, a player that we're definitely linked with. Fabrizio saying we're going to go back in for him this summer. Story saying that we are interested in Elliot Anderson at Forest. And also Adam Wharton, who was balling out last night against Tottenham. You guys have spoken. 1,175 votes. Tonali is the winner, 47%. Wharton second. Anderson third. Camavinga third. I think with Camavinga, the injuries, you know, because I'll be honest, I have wanted Camavinga at Arsenal for years, but he's so injury prone that he'll end up just sitting in the physio room all season. I think with Tonali, why I would say majority of you are picking him, it feels like he's just ready-made. He steps into the team. There's no development. It's just bang. As good as Wharton and Anderson are, there is still potential that they've got to fulfill. And we still haven't seen those two at the top level club. And you just never know how a player adapts to a bigger level. I mean, I did see the highlights of Anderson the other day. I mean, he's flicking the ball over people's head at the Etihad. They're now saying Man City might go in for him because they reckon that Kovacic and Bernardo Silva might go. So we'll see. Can you imagine if we signed Tonali and he got banned? Got done for betting again. Crazy. People, big up for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, 11:15 a.m. I will be live. It's a 12:15 kickoff. So I'll be live at 11:15 a.m. in the morning. Early one. Mansfield against Arsenal. FA Cup. Let's get the job done. Enjoy the weekend. And Man City play Newcastle tomorrow night. So hopefully... I keep saying this. Do we want Man City to win so that they've got more games? Or do we want them to lose so Pep has head loss? I don't know. What do you guys think? Big up to everyone in the chat. 2.5K. Big up the Twitch gang. Hit the like button. I'll see you all for the watch along tomorrow, people.